If you only do what you can do, you'll never be more than what you are. Hey everybody, and welcome to Epic Everyday. I'm Liz Frerichs, and this is my husband Evan.
Greetings. Happy Monday again.
Woohoo! Opportunity Day.
That's right.
As you guys know, we work our way through the CSCs. If you're not familiar with the CSCs, those are being calm, surrendered, centered, connected, and complete. And I'm super excited about our week this week. We're going to talk about starting new things.
Yeah, which we are in the middle of doing.
Yeah, this is something new right here.
For us,
right
very
now.
new.
Yeah. So today we're talking about starting a business along with being calm. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about starting a new calling along with being surrendered. Those kind of go together, you know? And Wednesday, we're going to talk about starting personal growth and being centered. Thursday, we're talking about starting a family and being connected. And then Friday, we'll round off the week by talking about starting unexpected projects.
Yeah.
And being complete in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. Those are all tough.
Yes. So
we'll see how it goes.
Super excited for you guys to be here this week. And, you know, catch any of the episodes that you can. If any of those kind of float your boat, we'd love to have you back for them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, our goal is for you guys to get 1 or 2 things per week that you can apply. We are all about 1% improvement. I mean, everything we say is not going to be the thing that changes your life. But hopefully there'll be 1 or 2 things per week that just strike you in a new way. Sometimes it takes hearing the same thing 50 times before all of a sudden, at least in my life.
Yeah, totally.
Before all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, wow, that is amazing and life-changing. And I think I'm going to do something about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never know what's going to make the light go on or the little, the light bulb go on. The light go on.
The little man jumping up and down in front of your brain.
That's right. Is that from something? Just your imagination, huh?
Yeah. I don't know why, but I was picturing that show. Like there was that one with talking brains. Oh, is that Pixar short, you know, with the brain?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like...
What is that? That's recently, before one of the newer movies.
I don't remember which one it was, but...
The brain is driving the guy's body around.
Yeah.
All the organs are doing their own
Yes.
thing, right?
Yeah, and it only works when the brain and the heart are working together.
That's right. That's the moral. That one, yeah.
Which brings us to our topic today of starting a new business.
Yeah. Something that we don't know a lot about. But that's kind of one of, you know, the problem with really any of these things, but especially this, is how do you do it? And how do you find out how to do it?
Well, and it's so stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just so stressful starting anything new because you don't have the skill set.
Probably.
I mean,
otherwise, maybe you would have been doing it.
Exactly. And I think that's where, you know, your head and your heart, like hopefully you find a job where your head and your heart are both engaged. I think way too many of us have a job that involves our heads and not our hearts, which is how we ended up starting our podcast. But, yeah, it's hard. You don't have the skill sets. I think it's so frustrating for me, like, you can't do step 29 until you're at step 29.
Yeah.
Like when you're at step 5, you have to do step 6. You can't do step 29.
Mm-hmm. So an example for starting the podcast, what were you thinking of?
Well, for instance, you know, you can't have your, like, make your website live until you have the content. You have to write the content first.
Right. I mean, you could have a little, here's our webpage.
Woohoo! Check out our website. It's not up and running.
Last week, it was like the middle of June when we recorded this, and we took a while, and at the end of the week, we didn't have much to show for it. It's just a lot of, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have content, obviously. This is part of it, but it's just trying to get it all to kind of come together.
Right.
We're learning a lot. But so that's a roadblock. The skill level. I know one of the big roadblocks for me is, and this is all under, these are all reasons to procrastinate, really, right?
Yeah, that was one of the things I was thinking about too.
Yeah. So another big one is, well, it might not work. So why even bother?
Right.
Well, that has to do with calling. If that almost, who cares? If you're supposed to do it, you better
Right.
be doing it, and that's what we're trying to do.
Right. Well, I came back to, that's another frustration for me. Like, God, a lot of the time says, here's the thing to do. Like, for instance, when I wrote my first book, it was like, write a book.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
Well, and
then,
he'd get dumped a bunch of time in your lap to do it too.
yes.
You
Yeah.
got sick. You
I
were
got
not
sick.
able to walk very well, and you
Right. I
had
kept
lots.
dislocating both my fibulas, which shockingly enough, it's really not that comfortable walking
Fibula's in your ear, right?
now.
Okay, we're for those of us who are not doctors.
Those are the bones that are on the outside of your lower leg along your calf.
Yeah, painful.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had all this time sitting around. But God doesn't say, this is how this step is going to work. He just tells you to do the step and then works out the details as you go along, which is sort of with the like, you can't do step 29 while you're on step 5.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also that sometimes you're in the middle of a project and you're just like, Lord, I have no idea how this is going to work.
Yeah.
I don't see this working short of a miraculous event,
Yeah, or what's the purpose? Yeah, some major compulsion, seems like it's from God, so you start acting. But yeah, well, even if you have a well thought out plan, it's not going to end up exactly like you think anyway.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. So, but it's still a deterrent, still a reason to procrastinate, at least for me.
Yeah.
I like to know the end to the beginning and everything in between. I'm real good at following instructions. Less good at improvising a path,
Right.
And that's a big part of life.
Yeah, definitely. So do you have any other procrastination reasons on there?
I think the do it right thing. Well, fear is one, I guess, but that has to do with those other things. Fear that, it might not end right, or I might not know how to do it. That has to do with skill level. Those are the main things.
Yeah.
I put one of the things that amplifies the lack of skill level, and maybe even the other one is the learning vortex. I feel like we've been sucked into this thing where
Oh, yeah.
you can make a full-time job out of learning how to do whatever, and at some point you've just got to start doing it, and that's what we're doing. I mean, our webpage, it's not going to be perfect at the beginning, or this podcast, it could always be better, the
I'm
audio
sure you guys will
quality,
get
the
to see
whatever,
us
whatever, but it's not gonna get better if we don't do it.
Right.
And so we're doing it.
Yeah, that's true. There is kind of that procrastination of just, if I had more information, that will magically make it better. Which is true. Sometimes more information does help. But one of the things that I wrote down is you need the right information at the right time. Like sometimes we get stuck in like, I want to know the information, at least for me. I want to know the information for every step of the process. But then sometimes by the time I get to step 29, I've forgotten how to do it. Like, really, I think God gives us the information we need for the step that we're on.
And I think that's wise of him.
Right.
Because I think we've done it. I mean, we've read books that we're like, oh, I want to be able to use this skill someday. And so we're like, we'll read a book about it. Because we both, that's kind of how we work.
We like to
but
read.
Maybe that information's still up there and maybe it's not. So there's something to be said for it, kind of that instant, just-in-time information. And God's so good at that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, the sad thing is that we get so stuck in the procrastination phase, even if it looks like we're doing a lot. If you're going to write a book, it can get really easy to write all the character profiles and to get stuck in outlining for your entire life without actually putting pen to paper and writing. stinking book.
There's something, yeah. I guess that would be another classification of fear, though. Like I'm not going to actually write it. I've got this whole series of books in my mind, or, we've got ideas about this podcast and this webpage and this business, but
I think it's a fear of failure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like
we
I'm
might
so
work
afraid
hard
it's
on
not going
this
to turn out the way I want it to.
But then while you're being scared of failure and not doing anything, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're not going to succeed for sure. And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, unfortunately.
Right. As Shifu says
in
Kung Fu Panda 3, when he's talking to Po about how, he has Po teaching, and he's like, I know you can teach. And Po's all upset because he did a terrible job teaching. At the end
of the third one, I think?
Yeah. It's kind of at the beginning.
Okay.
Shifu comes around and he says, if you only do what you can do, you'll never be more than what you are.
Yeah.
There's some really great lines in there. Yeah. Okay, I love that whole movie series. But yeah, the idea that if you just keep doing what you actually can do, you're stuck. You're not going to grow.
Right. But yeah, that's true. And I think we've been trying to grow out of our comfort zone actively, and it's
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's why calm is so important. I mean, I think we see this on every day that we have calm, but it bears repeating. If you are not calm, if you are in freak out mode, it shuts down your creativity, your problem solving skills. Like, you go into fight or flight, you're in survival mode. There's no room for learning and growth.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I think that's another big roadblock is I don't actually have time to start a new project. And now we're talking about adding calm into the mix, which is going to take time too. It's going to mean maybe you're meditating, maybe you're making sure you're praying, you're going for a walk, you're doing things that don't seem productive.
Taking a Sabbath.
Right. And so then it's like, oh, how am I even going to fit that in? So yeah, but you got to do it.
Right. You want to grow. I mean, who wants to be stuck in the mundane?
Yeah. And the calm part, like you can't proceed effectively.
Right.
In freak out mode's good for running away from a bull or something, or like running out of a burning building, or I don't know.
Single focus.
Yeah, it's
items.
fight or flight stuff for individual crisis, but not a lifestyle.
Right. Yeah, and in our culture, we live in a fight or flight mode.
I think so.
We're always crazy, insanely busy. I was just complaining about that today. I mean, I feel like my whole day was run. Although I was able at the beginning of each stage, like when I started school with the kids, I was like, okay, deep breath, grab some calm. Like, okay, I'm going to be chill. And to just keep making that choice of, okay, yep, we're going to sit here. One of the experiments for today was to make ice cream. And so we made
that has to do with astronomy?
Yes, it was our astronomy experiment.
This book is so
funny. We were talking about how adding chemicals can change the freezing point of different things. So
of ice cream in space.
Yes. Of ice cream.
Astronaut ice cream. It's not even frozen.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Anyway, so since we were doing that, I was like, okay, we're making the ice cream, and then the girls were like, let's just sit and talk. And I was like, okay, right?
Yeah.
This is a good time. I'm going to practice being calm right now. So, I mean, calm is not I wish it was a lifestyle where you just make the decision once and you're calm the whole day.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's okay, now I'm going to be calm. And now I'm going to be calm. Now I'm going to still be calm.
All these spiritual disciplines are, I mean, I was thinking about that today too. Like, it's not, how many decisions are one and done and you're just good to go? I don't think hardly any.
Right.
I don't know. And how many things do we actually do every single day? I mean, we have to work hard to.
Right.
I mean, we'll fall into a routine of maybe oversleeping every single day or something, but productive stuff, I don't even take my vitamins every day, and that's like takes 2 seconds. It's work.
Yeah. Yeah, but the amazing thing is when you add calm into the mix, even though it takes work to add it in there, it does create, kind of a joy in the journey. Like, I don't need to rush from point A to point Z. I'm just going to let God take me from point A to point B, and room for failure. Yeah. That failure becomes a learning opportunity rather than okay, I'm going to beat myself up, or okay, I'm not going to do this because what if I fail?
And failing means you tried something, and that's really good.
Yes.
Wouldn't be failing if you were not moving.
Definitely. All right. So, as always, we would love to have you guys as a part of our community. We have a Facebook community. You can check out our website or contact us.
epiceverydaynow.com is our webpage. Facebook is facebook.com/epiceveryday.
Yeah. And, we're building a community of people who want to step out and fail well. Not just people who want to keep doing the same stuff every day.
And then talk about it.
Come join our community. Be part of the people who are wanting to step out and fail well. And come back and listen to our podcast, because it's all about that daily encouragement. I mean, if you are going to step out and fail well, you need a cheerleader.
Yeah. And take a minute to, like Liz was saying, maybe before each stage of your day, do a calm exercise of some kind. Or just listen to your breathing for half a minute.
It does not take long.
Yeah. You can do it.
It makes a huge difference. All right. Well, come back tomorrow if you want to hear about starting a new calling in your life and surrender. And we will talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.